Welcome to the AI Research Roundup. I'm Alex. Today we're looking at a paper from the Hugging Face trending list, published on September 29, 2025, about 5 days ago. The striking result is that on expert spot diagnosis, board-certified radiologists score 83%, trainees 45%, while the best frontier model, GPT-5, reaches only 30%. The paper is titled Radiology's Last Exam, RadLE, Benchmarking Frontier Multimodal AI Against Human Experts, and a Taxonomy of Visual Reasoning Errors in Radiology. And the implications for safe clinical use are pretty stark. In short, a 50-case benchmark across CT, MRI, and radiographs tests models like GPT-5, Gemini 2.5 Pro, OpenAI o3, Grok 4, and Claude Opus 4.1, revealing variable reproducibility, negligible gains from higher reasoning effort but much longer latency, and a practical taxonomy of visual reasoning errors. Alright, that overview set the stakes. Figure 1 shows diagnostic accuracy across humans and multimodal models on the Radiology's Last Exam benchmark. Board-certified radiologists reach about 83% with tight error bars, while trainees average around 45%. The best model, GPT-5 thinking mode, sits near 30%, similar to Gemini 2.5 Pro, and OpenAI o3 trails near 23%. Grok 4 and Claude Opus 4.1 drop sharply, with Claude barely above 0. Okay. Figure 1 showed accuracy gaps between humans and models. Table 1 now details how the 50 cases are distributed by imaging modality. Computed tomography accounts for 24 cases, about 48%, while radiographs and magnetic resonance imaging each contribute 13 cases, roughly 26% apiece. The balanced split between radiograph and magnetic resonance imaging matters because modality mix can shift difficulty, and this layout ensures results do not hinge on a single modality. So, while Table 1 summarized modality counts, Figure 2 shows how cases span clinical systems. Pediatric leads at 20%, with musculoskeletal and head and neck neuro each near 18%. Gastrointestinal contributes 16%, and both cardiothoracic and genitourinary sit at 14%, which keeps the benchmark diversified across body regions. This mix matters because model weaknesses can cluster by anatomy, so balanced coverage helps reveal systematic blind spots. Well, Figure 2 grouped cases by clinical system. Table 3 summarizes overall diagnostic accuracy across reader groups, which makes the gap concrete. Board-certified radiologists score 83% with a confidence interval from 75 to 90, while trainees reach 45%. GPT-5 leads the models at 30%. Gemini 2.5 Pro follows at 29%. OpenAI o3 at 23%. Grok 4 at 12%. And Claude Opus 4.1 sits near 1%. Alright, Table 3 had the overall gap. Table 4 breaks accuracy down by modality with confidence intervals. Radiologists stay on top across the board, near 98% on magnetic resonance imaging, 89% on radiographs, and 79% on computed tomography. Among models, GPT-5 peaks on magnetic resonance imaging at about 45%, drops to 31% on radiographs, and reaches roughly 22% on computed tomography, which shows modality sensitivity. Alright, Table 4 broke performance down by modality. Table 6 reports consistency and repeatability across 3 runs, which matters because clinical tools must be stable from try to try. GPT-5 shows substantial agreement with mean kappa about 0.64 and intraclass correlation coefficient about 0.64. OpenAI o3 is similar, Gemini 2.5 Pro and Grok 4 are moderate, and Claude Opus 4.1 is effectively 0, indicating poor reproducibility. Alright, Table 6 covered stability across runs. Table 7 lays out a concise taxonomy of visual reasoning errors for single image diagnosis, which anchors the qualitative analysis. The categories span perceptual errors like underdetection, overdetection, and mislocalization, interpretive errors such as misattribution and premature closure, and communication errors where findings and summary disagree. Cognitive bias modifiers, including anchoring, availability, inattentional, and framing effects, describe patterns that can escalate these mistakes. Wrapping up, 2 takeaways stand out. Humans still dominate difficult spot diagnosis, with radiologists far ahead, while the best model reaches roughly 1/3 accuracy, and extra reasoning effort adds latency with little benefit. The error taxonomy offers a roadmap for safer evaluation and targeted fixes, so unsupervised clinical use should be avoided. That is it for this episode of the AI Research Roundup. I am Alex. Thanks for listening.